But yeah, Jerrod, I'm excited that you put this one together for us. Episode 102, How People Treat You is Your Responsibility. And I think that's a bold and strong statement just in the title right there. Right? So let's dive in, Jerrod. How do you decide what behaviors you accept from people in your life?
Yeah, I think we both had recent examples of people in our life that were like questioning, like, wait a second, that's not how you're supposed to treat somebody. And we're in such a world right now where if people don't agree with you or have the slightest difference of opinion, we're in what the cancel culture, right? Like, we just want to get rid of them immediately instead of like exploring, like, why do we view things different? Why do we think different on this? So for me, the one behavior that I just can't accept is, I don't know if I would say loyalty, but just a lack of understanding. You know what I mean? Like, if you and I disagree, like, and you're not even willing to hear why I don't think that, or you're not even willing to sit and discuss it, and it's just steadfast, like, you have to agree with this or nothing, then there's probably not a lot of room for growth. So I would say that would be one big behavior for me, is if there's no room for us to grow, if we're so stuck in how we think that we can't listen to each other, then there's no benefit to that relationship at that point, right? To me, that would have meant it reached as far as it could go, and now it's time for us to go separate ways.
Yeah.
What about you? Is there anything specific, like if this happens, like it's hard for you to stomach?
I think we're totally aligned on this one, and this is for all relationships for me. Is if they're not helping me grow, and I can't see that I'm helping them grow.
Yeah,
it's kind of a waste of.
So how do you measure growth?
Relationship.
Like, what are you looking for? Like, how? So for our community, how do you know if you're helping them grow? Because I think this could be very interesting. Because I think sometimes people think they're helping somebody grow, but they're actually hurting them. So how do you, first off, let me ask you that, how do you know if you're helping somebody grow or if they're helping you grow? What kind of feedback are you getting? What are you looking for?
Well, I know if I'm learning some things, that's the easiest way.
Okay, so learning.
Right? Learning.
Right.
I think also with disagreements, especially overcoming disagreements and moving forward, proposing challenges and being able to move forward from disagreements. But if it's a constant butting of heads and it's just something that is continuously negative and bringing me down that we can't seem to overcome, that's when I know that we're not really growing anymore. We're not really moving forward.
Yeah. So I 100% agree. So what I look for is similarities in conversation, right? If every day we're having the same conversation, or every time I see you, it's still the same problem, and there's no growth. Now, don't get me wrong. Coaching people, I have people that come to me with a variety of problems. So if you come to me with problem A and we talk about it, and then the next time I see you, you're like, hey, I tried this and it worked kind of, but I'm still here. Well, I'm still invested there because we're making progress. We're trying things. But if every time I see you, it goes back to our victimhood episode. Mm-hmm. If every time I see you, we're still talking about the exact same thing and you've done nothing to try to change it, well, me continuing to baby you and to hold you and say it's going to be okay, I'm actually hurting you.
Yeah.
Even though in my heart I'm like, oh, I want to comfort and make them feel better. Sometimes that's not the right answer, and for me, like you said, if we're not growing, then what are we wasting our time doing?
Yeah.
In all our relationships.
I will add another indicator for me is a value add to life. Like, right, it doesn't always need to be growth, but maybe it's my friend that every time I'm around him, he's cracking me up.
That's growth.
Right?
It's humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, to where and I don't know if I see that as growth. I guess I could frame it in that way, but it may not look like growth to some, at least for my direct frame, but having a good time, people that add value to your life.
Yeah,
So it may
value
not
add, good.
value add for me. So happiness, value add, and growth is a key indicator of like, hey, these are the people that I want to have in my life. Like a good example right now is I'm getting ready to move to a state where I hardly know anybody.
Right.
In St. Petersburg, the city that we are moving to, we don't know anybody.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a great opportunity to build the community from scratch. So I've taken the time to write out what are my Florida, St. Petersburg community goals.
Very cool.
Where am I going to be building community? So I talked MMA, right? An MMA community, a professional community, a social community. I'm like, we're going to be able to join like a volleyball league and, do cool stuff, like just social stuff. And now on my accountability list this week, I'm actually going to write what and how do I want these people to be like? Like, what are their core values? What are their hobbies? What are their careers? So I can actually have some guidelines for people that I'm seeking out, which I've never really done before. I didn't do that when I was moving to Fort Collins.
Right.
I got lucky stumbling upon trials and all the amazing communities that I've built here. But this is a really unique opportunity to really seek out the type of people that I want to be around.
Yeah. And I agree. Knowing what you're looking for in your life is huge. And also going back to what you'll accept is I 100% agree that how you feel after interacting with somebody is a very good indicator of if you should be spending time there or not.
Oh, yeah.
If every time they leave, you're like, man, I'm drained. Like that just exhausts me. It's so depressing. You may want to limit how much time you're putting around there. Conversely, if you leave and you're like, oh, I'm excited, let me go. Okay, yeah, I'm learning this, or I got to try this new technique, then that's the person you want more of in your life. But I'm a big believer that at times we will compromise what we allow others to do to us. We will be unsure if we can stand up to them because we don't know what we really stand for. And I think any leadership class we teach, anything I'm involved in, if your job is to make others better, you first have to make yourself better.
100%.
Right? So that kind of gets me to the next one, and this is an exercise that we do in some of our leadership classes, is a personal mission statement. Props to Carrie. She does a great job coaching this with law enforcement with me. And I'm shocked, quite honestly, when you ask people, like, what do you stand for? What is your personal mission statement? And there is silence. But if you ask them, what's your job's mission statement? What's your company's mission statement? They can recite it. You're like, well, shouldn't you have one? Because just like you said, by listing out who you want to attract in your life and what characteristics, now you're going to be on the look for those. But if you don't know, then you can be tricked. You could be uncertain. You could be wavering. So I think before we can look for what will we accept from others, we got to know what do we accept from ourselves. Right?
100%.
Do I accept lying to myself? Hey, you're going to get up and go get a workout today. And then halfway through the day, I'll do it tomorrow. I lied to myself. Mm-hmm. You're going to get up early and do this, and I hit snooze 6 times. You lied to yourself. So what is it you stand for will help you decide what you tolerate from others.
Couldn't agree more.
But how many people do we know? We don't really know what we stand for anymore. Or what we stand for is based on external affirmations. Oh, well, they liked when I did this, so that's what I do. But that's not you, right? That's subject to somebody else, and they may or may not like it. If it's popular, they could change. But we got to know what we stand for. So I encourage our community, do an exercise where you write down what it is you stand for and then create a mission statement for yourself. And the mission statement has to be able to be done in one breath, right? And every time we teach this with the law enforcement and other leadership groups, I like to redefine mine. And we have a session going right now, so I literally just worked through mine again. And so my personal mission statement, so this is what I will base if there's conflict, if there's turmoil, if there's some unsettled relationships, I will come back to this to decide, like, what actions do I take? You know, like we were talking earlier, do I reach out to this person or is it time to let them go? Right? And it always comes back to this, is to live my daily life with purpose and intention so that I inspire others to do the same. Period. So every day I have to be living with purpose and intention. That's my commitment to me, right? So at the end of the day, I can look back and be like, you weren't intentional today, dude. You literally sat for 3 hours, you know, and did nothing when you knew you had stuff you were supposed to do.
Right.
Why? I let myself down.
Mm-hmm.
With purpose. Like, what is my purpose? My purpose is to show up for others, to show up for myself, to be present in conversations.
Well, I love your mission statement because you can also have purpose to take a day off.
Absolutely.
Right? It doesn't mean that you have to be go.
No,
But as long as you have purpose and intention, like purpose of your weekend, I'm going to go out in nature, disconnect, unplug, relax. And
I think that helps a lot, right? Because you and I both came from this culture, right? Gary Vee and the hustle. You know, there was times where we felt like we had to be on our phones. We had to, let me work on Saturday. Let me do this. Let me do that. This past week is a perfect example. I went up, I think I texted you and my wife and my daughter a picture of my sunrise. That was literally the only time I was on my phone for 2 days.
Nice.
And in the past, I would have been like, man, what's my crypto doing? Do I got any, you know? Couldn't care, dude. Because I knew it would be there, right? So while I wasn't working hard to my business side, I was very purposeful in reflection, purposeful in taking walks. You know what I mean? And that's where we sometimes get confused. We get an idea of being busy versus being productive. They're two different things. Busy is busy. Productive is producing results. So for me, I want to have purpose and intention so I inspire others to do the same. I want people to realize you don't have to walk through life just getting whatever's thrown your way, that you have a say. And if I don't like what's coming here, okay, what do I need to do to get out of this lane to get myself there? That's my responsibility to myself. That's purpose and intention, not accident and happenstance.